Yeah, no, we are live. Hey, how's it going? I hope you guys are well. I'm Alejandro, the CGI nerd. I did a. No, we are live. Hey, how's it going? Oh, I hope you guys are well. I'm Alejandro, the CGI nerd. Let me. Sorry, I get it. I did some noise in the background from the video, so hopefully you guys didn't hear that. But I have the video up so that I can see the chat because I'm doing Google Hangouts right now so that I can talk to you guys. We have Kat and Clit in the chat. Thank you very much for showing up. Like I said, this is probably this is very different than on my other channel. The other channel is a vlog. This is my channel that I interact with my students and people interested in 3D graphics. So thank you too for showing up. Is there anybody else? Let's see, there's 4 people watching. So there has to be somebody else watching. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I am going to switch over to the screen share mode. So you're going to see Inception in a moment, but I'll hide it right away. Let's see, share. And now we are sharing. There we go. So I have a couple classes that I need to prepare for tomorrow. I have the scripting class, which is scripting for 3D graphics. I am one of them, so there's 2. So there's at least one more person. Yes. Oops. Let's not do that. I don't want to update. I'll update all this stuff because this is generic stuff. The stuff that I want to update that could be kind of interesting to talk about, especially if any of my students show up, is the week-by-week stuff. So I have, this is the scripting class that I want to focus on first, and it is the scripting for 3D class. So I think the first week is pretty kind of basic, where we're just introducing everybody to Python and how it interacts with Maya. And I think that would be a good way to start off. Thank you, Clint, for sharing the stream. I appreciate that. So this is kind of like the basics. I last year tried to incorporate Houdini and Maya scripting. They both use Python, but they have their own syntax or slight their libraries are different. So I'm thinking this time around I'm going to choose one or the other, either Maya or Houdini. I think most people that come into this class are probably more familiar with Maya. I'm a big proponent of Houdini, but at this point, this is the beginning of their second year of school. They haven't really had any experience, so it might be difficult to share out or talk about Houdini at this point. So I think that's the one I'm going to remove, even though it's my favorite one to work with. So talk about Maya commands and setting up comments and a lot of the basic setup for Python. Yeah, last year there was quite a bit of confusion when I was doing the 2 different softwares. So I think I want to make it more focused and get the students much stronger at that. Then I have a big project. So a lot of these week by week here, kind of, I have small projects here, but then I have one big project, and I've done this twice or several times where they're generating a set of 3D dice to basically do kind of like role-playing dice and randomize the number and rotate and position them and things like that. And I think it's been a really cool way to get a big project done that is kind of interesting. But I've already done it for like 3 years in a row now, and I have 2 sets of tutorials that go over the same thing. So maybe doing something new is a good way to go. Clint, yes, this is for a college course. It's at the Rochester Institute of Technology. That's where I teach. I teach in the 3D digital design program. So what we do is a lot of 3D production for games, film, and visual effects and things like that. A lot of the classes that I teach are more of the technical side. I do teach some creative classes, but most of the classes that I teach are kind of programming and physics based and things like that. Um, so we have the midterm with the dice. Um, I'm thinking that like maybe we need to make a cartoon. I got ideas. That's awesome. CG, it takes a long time to work with. That's why on my vlog channel, I don't do too much 3D. If I do any effects, it will be like 2D effects because it takes a while, but it's really fun to do once you got a good project behind it and a good idea. Kat, you did really well in physics. That's cool to hear. What was your favorite part of physics? So I'm thinking with this, maybe I can have something else, like maybe generate leaves on a tree or change colors on a tree or something like that. But maybe if I go week by week, I'll get a little bit of a better idea of what I want to focus on. So um, I don't have on week one. There's nothing new because students. It's the first day they show up, but the second week they come in. I have the Hello 3D digital design program project, which is basically like Hello World. If you guys are familiar with any type of programming, it's pretty much every first project that is done for programming for any novice in programming. It's a really good way to kind of learn the um, system. Clint took 3D animation and philosophy for were two of his favorite classes. That's awesome. What software did you use for 3D animation? What type of animation did you do? Did you do character stuff or did you move objects around, motion graphics? So I think these two projects for the first week for them to do are pretty appropriate. I don't think I'll update that. Kat says, well, my brain doesn't work anymore, but at the time I asked the teacher and she was like, we weren't even getting deep into it, and I'll talk to you later in class. We were using it in relation to ultrasound. Oh, cool. That sounds like really fun. I'm like really excited about like talk about physics and stuff. I really get kind of excited about like how it all works, and that's probably why I teach this class. Clip Moore says he took motion graphics with 3D. That's really cool. That's something that I want to incorporate more in my vlog. Is maybe doing a little bit of simple match moving and putting the title for each vlog opening in the shot. So I think that would be really kind of a fun thing to add to the vlog that will make it look really nice. And maybe in the other class I'm working on, I can add that as an assignment because I think for the compositing class, that would be pretty appropriate. Okay, so week 2, we're covering data types, variable operators, more Maya commands, and the print function. And I think that's pretty appropriate for the type of content that we want to do. Multi-primitive row, random number generator. So I think this is kind of it's useful, but it's kind of boring for the project. And random number generator, um, that is kind of a project that they're going to need to know anyways. So I'm going to keep that one. But the basically I'm using loops to be able to um, do a row of primitives based off of code. So making a row of like a cube, a cylinder, a sphere, and things like that. Um, I'm just wondering if there could be something kind of cool. At this stage, they don't know enough to do something more interesting than this, I think, unfortunately. But that is probably I'm gonna have to keep that there even though I wanna make something more interesting. Uh, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I programmed so many random number generators, but uh, they're very useful for a lot of things. Like you said, Kat, you're using it for picking songs, with what we're doing here eventually with their first midterm project, the big project that they're doing, they create a dice. So they use that random number generator to spin a dice and actually get a result, which is kind of interesting. But they can also do like changing colors of the leaves to be kind of a variation of a color of green so that they're not all exactly the same green color. Or if you wanted to place rocks on the floor, but you wanted to do it really fast through a code, you can actually create a random number generator. So that way it creates a floor full of rocks, but that are just randomly placed and rotated all over the floor. So random number generators are super useful in coding. And just for anybody using a computer, a lot of times you might not realize that you're actually using a lot of random functions and things like that. So the next week we're coming in with the 3D sphere matrix. So this one is kind of cool. It's progressing from this one where they created a row of primitives, and then now I want them to actually create a two-dimensional shape. And once they have the two-dimensional shape, they can actually go into 3D. So they're creating a grid of geometry. And I guess on the first one to be able to do that, they're just creating it with simple operators. And then this version right here, in order to get a grid, they're doing it with loops and if statements and things like that. So that is pretty um, useful. The random sphere placement, maybe I can change that project because that is basically using the random number generator and placing it on a surface. But maybe I can do it to like change the color of an object. That could be kind of cool. So maybe, yeah, that's what I am going to do. So random color assignment. And that will work for that. Maybe the word assignment could be kind of confusing. Random color, because it's assignment, yes, like they're turning it in, but it's also like they're assigning that color to the object. So um, random color, what would be the word for that? I don't know off the top of my head right now. I guess I'll just put assignment for right now. And if I think of something better, if you guys can think of something better than assignment for the word for placing a random color on an object, that would be helpful. So functions, arguments, and references. So here, the assignment that I have for them is to create the dice geometry, and I think I want to move away from the big dice project. So I'm not going to do that. This has kind of been a tough week for me because it's kind of using everything that they have. Oh, the question that I had is, right now I have random color assignment for the name of the assignment, but I could be confused with like assignment, like it is an assignment that's due, but I want it to be like random color, giving an object a separate random color. So is there a better word that I can use other than assignment so that it doesn't get confusing? So I'm gonna erase all the dice geometry assignments. Actually, I probably want an advanced GUI there because at that point they start creating a graphical user interface. So that would be good. Um, so let's see. Functions need an assignment with a function. Basically, with a function, they're already doing something that is already, I mean, they're using all the same stuff, they're just organizing it a little bit better. So maybe I can have them build their previous, maybe that's what I'll do. I think that is a great idea. I'm going to make them do the previous assignments as functions. Ooh, yeah, let's do that. Thank you, Clint. So I'll put random color exercise. Maybe random color placement exercise. Something like that. GUI interface. So I'm gonna make, thanks, Clint. You can't see it right now because I don't have the camera active, but I'm giving you a thumbs up. So I'm going to, for this week's with the functions, make previous scripts into functions. And then I'm kind of curious. I don't want to go into too much of a. Ooh, 5 people watching. Cool. One more has joined in. So yeah, I'm going to make the previous things into functions, and then here I'm going to tell them to make a GUI out of the previous assignment. So GUI to access scripts. That could be pretty useful. And then I have this advanced GUI assignment, and I need kind of a midterm project for it that I think would be cool, something that could be automated through code that would be useful for them. I don't want to do the DICE project anymore. It's just I've done it too many times, and it'd be nice to get some kind of fresh ideas with a new script. And maybe it could be like a tree generation script or something like that. That could be kind of fun. Make random trees. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make trees, and they could be stylized trees. So I don't want that bold. Let's do a tree. Oh wow, Clint, that was fast. How long have you had your merch up for? You sold your first shirt in like an hour. That's awesome. I'm was tempted to buy one, and I probably will at some point in the future. I'm just kind of broke right now towards the end of the month. So, but it was a really cool design for the shirt. I didn't DM you back when you were asking about it, but I am excited for you having merch. Cool. Yeah, it's been up for about an hour. So let me make you a. I'm gonna make you a. Can I do it? Yes, I made you a moderator. So if you want to drop the link to your merch, feel free to do so. Okay, so tree generator. So that will be the midterm project, and then usually when that is due, I will add something like I don't have it here, but I usually what I do is on this week it's kind of like a recovery week because they've been so overwhelmed with all the work that they've been doing here. Um, so what I do is kind of have a critique week, which is not really an assignment that's due, but it will get them kind of started. And then I switch over to have them actually work on some uh, actual modeling and generation creation type stuff on week 8. So that way they don't have any programming to do. Hi, Happy Trails Hiking. Hello, how are you? Glad to see you here. I am just going over the syllabus for my course. Hi, Susan's Creative. Like I was telling Happy Trails Hiking, I am going over right now my scripting course, which is more technical, and then I'm going to go over the advanced compositing course, kind of week by week what I'm covering and just making any updates based off of reviews that I got last year from my students and just things that I feel that could be better streamlined. Good times outdoors. Hello. I don't think I've seen you around so far, but thank you for stopping by. Yep. Thank you, Clint, for sharing. Wow, a lot of people jumping on board right now. Let's see. I'm sharing my screen, so I don't want to. Ooh, jumped up to 9. We doubled our numbers. Thank you. Hi, Karen. How are you? I am, like I said, just going over my syllabus. I'm about the midterm point for the scripting class. I teach 3D digital design at the Rochester Institute of Technology. Classes start tomorrow for scripting and advanced compositing, so I have to update the syllabi by tomorrow so that I can give them to the students. The bell is on, but got no notification. Karen, I've heard that from a lot of people on YouTube. Do you have the bell on this channel? Because that could be the difference. This is a different channel than what you normally see me on. Yeah, I am pretty busy all the time. I have 4 channels that I update semi-regularly. Over the summer, I've been focusing on vlogging, but during the school year, this is the channel that I do most of my work on. So let's see. After midterms, I've been doing this face rig. So I have them create a skeleton and kind of muscle system with code for controlling a character's face, which I think is a really awesome assignment. Last year, I got some feedback that people felt like they were really behind a lot of the time because there was like they hadn't done any rigging before this point, but I think that it was really useful for them because a lot of them, when I talked to them the following semester, they were like, wow, that assignment actually helped me a lot. So it had a lot of feedback that was kind of too intense while I was going through it. But like the feedback a semester after that, they're like very thankful for it. So it might bring my numbers down when I do this assignment, but I think in the end, it's actually better for the students. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just work on keeping my numbers up, or should I just do what I think is probably best in the long run for the students? Because and this is my strength. This is what I did a lot professionally working in the film industry was creating rigs and stuff like that for the students. So Susan says long run. And that's kind of what I've been leaning towards. So I think I might do that. Any other opinions from anybody? Do what's best for the students. Cool, long run. Everybody says long run. So that's what we are going to do. I'll keep all this stuff here. It's a lot of work, but I think it's actually really, really good for the students. They struggle with it while they're doing it, but by the end, they actually get a lot out of it. Susan says that she now has the song "A Long Run" in her head. That's awesome. So I'm going to save this, and that is this course finished. So let's jump over to the advanced compositing class, the scripting class I've been teaching every year. I can close this now. The advanced compositing class I teach, I've only taught once here at the school that I'm teaching at now. I used to teach a lot more at other schools. It's a little bit of a strange class because our program focuses on 3D digital design, where this course as a compositing course has been more of like 2D and node based type of compositing. What I want to kind of shift it towards is maybe more of a 3D compositing course, so using node based compositing techniques, but um, focusing on the creative end on how to actually composite 3D elements together well in order to get a very nice finished looking product. Clint says he would like to take this course. Uh, it's really fun. I've taught it in different ways at different schools. There was actually when I used to teach at the Art Institute, we did a really awesome project in this class where I would have them model, animate, and rig a robot, like a transforming robot. So it would be transforming from some sort of car into a robot, and then they would have to shoot live action video and composite that into that video. So it was a really, really fun project. Basically Transformers, but not really Transformers because I wanted them to be able to use it everywhere. So it's transforming robots. Because if they use the term Transformers, then they could get in trouble with it, depending where they're putting the content out at. So it looks like the last time I taught this, they had the 100-hour project, which was a project that our program would do that would cross over all the classes in our program, and we would work on the first week of classes back to one big project. But and that's a good way to get everybody to know each other. But that happens in the spring, and I'm teaching this in the fall now. I think I want to make another moderator. Boom. There, we have another moderator. Just because. Hey, driving me crazy, Dennis, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Okay, so 100-hour project, that is no longer going to be there. So I'm going to have to copy this whole section and paste it here. So I got to come up with another week's worth of assignments. And with this class, because it actually takes a lot more to get the projects done, I kind of break it up into 3 weeks. So I have lecture, we can do like intro to, and I want to make it more of a 3D kind of compositing class. So introduction to nodes, maybe node-based compositing. Node-based compositing for this class, like they have actually been doing layer-based compositing until this point. So they kind of know the main principles of compositing. They just don't. This is kind of a slightly different workflow. Also, this is what's called an experimental workshop class. So it's supposed to be more of them doing stuff rather than me holding their hands. So it's more of a studio class where they actually get to experiment on what they want to focus on for the future. So I want to try to restructure it this way because I've been focusing it more on how to guide more than anything. Susan says, can't stay guys, have to get dinner started. See you tonight on Michael's and Kat's stream. Awesome. I'll see you later. Susan, Clint, Karen, Clint, man. I was nervous about wedding. into that topic, but I needed to get it off my chest. I think I might have missed something. Da, 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 da. Yes, enjoy your dinner, Susan. See what time is it? 6:30, and I'm about halfway. Cool, perfect. I want to go to Pusa Studios live stream at 7, so I want to get this done before 7. Um, Node-based compositing, and then lab. I'm gonna start the project 1 for the homework here. And static object compositing. So let's do lots of live streams today. Yeah, I think more and more people are starting to do live streams. I think on this channel, I want to still have my structured tutorials, but I also want to kind of have some days where I go live and people can see the whole process, because a lot of times my videos, even though they're 45-minute long videos, they're actually like edited down from 4-hour things that I've done. So it could be kind of cool to show the whole process from beginning to end and kind of my experimental stages of each assignment. Try and survive and have a good day. And thank you for stopping by. So I don't know how much video I want to actually include. Maybe I'll include a video in the third assignment. I want to focus more on 3D compositing for the first 2 projects. Sounds like yours. What do you mean, Kat? I guess I'm just missing the context of what you're trying to talk about. So I think I'm going to move all the projects up 1. So this is project 2 final. I made that mistake before. We're going to make that project 1 final. Continue project 1, and then the homework that's due is the final project. We do critiques on that week. So node-based compositing, we can talk about maybe lighting passes. Awesome. Have fun with your kids at the park. I will see you at Pusa Studios stream later on. I'm really excited for that. I was there earlier with their 2,500 celebration with this channel, but I haven't gotten a push from them on this channel yet, although I did gain like 15 subscribers on this channel earlier today, so I'm excited about that. So we're going to talk about lighting passes and how to render them. Continue project 1. So I'm going to give them a little bit more of a kind of open-ended project, because this is an experimental workshop type class. So I am going to, this one doesn't require video, but I'm going to do planning, storyboarding, and concept art. Here we go. CG assets and light and materials. Project 1, CG assets, lighting and materials. That sounds great. And then maybe final composite polish. Okay, I think, yeah, final composite polish. And I'm just going to say continue on project 1. And then final project. And then here, instead of this, we're going to do critiques. I strongly believe in critiques in class. So I want to make sure that we spend a lot of time on the critique stage for this, because a lot of times we can catch things and improve things through analyzing each other's projects. So we'll focus a whole class session on that day. And then I'll tell them about the project 2. We're going to say start project 2. And I think for project 1, I'm going to make it a static object. CG static object composite. That's awesome. I have that there. So maybe project 2 will be something in motion. I think that would be a good way to kind of differentiate it. Dynamic object composite. So dynamic might be confused with like water simulations and things like that, but I think in this class I'll differentiate dynamic by being, actually, that's just going to be confusing. We'll just call it moving object. Yeah, I bet it's super late for you out there, Karen. Let's see, it's 6:30. It's probably like 1 o'clock for you where you're at now, Karen, right? And then I'll copy this. I don't know why this is not lining up correctly. I'll fix that later. So project 1, this time it's going to be project 2. And this is project 2. Okay. And then let's say this week we'll do motion tracking or composites. That way they can track 2D objects onto a 3D object and be able to save some render time with some types of effects that way. I think that would be pretty cool. We're not beginning project 2, but we will be continuing project 2. And I think that's what I wrote. Yep, continue project 2. And then on project 2, second week, gonna need assets modeled. Assets modeled, lit, and textured. Also have them include the animation, because this one needs to be modeled. or animated. So after we do some kind of composites like that, maybe we can talk about a 2D particle effects. Or we'll just do 2D effects for composite. And then this is going to be finalized project 2. And then the homework will be final project 2. So that takes us about halfway through the semester, I believe. Yep. These are more weeks than what I have now. I believe we have 15 weeks now with the new system. So we'll do that. And usually on the last couple weeks, I just have them work on their portfolio so that they can compile a collection of all their work that they've done in this course. So 2D effects for compositing, final project. So we're going to start project 3. What did I call project 3 here? Source video. And then CG assets. I don't know what the heck I was thinking back then. So let's do this a live action composite. So this is going to be peaks. And then start, actually, let me just copy at the line up here and just make it for project 3. Thanks, Kat. I guess I'm getting a little focus. Let's see, so project, this one's going to be project 3. Planning, storyboard, and concept art. Planning, I'm just going to change this to ideation. I'll just leave it with planning because for some reason my table is broken there. Okay. Actually, is that how I wrote it? No, I wrote something like this. That's for the second line. Sorry, I got kind of confused there. That makes more sense. And then, so begin project 3. And this project is going to be live action 3D composite. And maybe I'll make this a bigger project and I'll do it the transforming robot project because I thought that was really fun and I haven't done that project in over 5 years. So I think I will make it a transforming robot project. So this is project 3 and we want it to be, actually, we want it to be the planning stages. 6, 7. There we go. That makes sense there. So then this one, I'll break it apart into a little bit more stages. So continue project 3 this time for the lab. And we're going to be talking about how to do a transforming animation. And it's funny because this is going to take several weeks, but this whole assignment's usually about like less than 5 seconds long for the final video. Okay, so project 3, and this is going to be the assets. You composite all this stuff from up here. Gonna kind of branch out the project so that way I have an idea of what to talk about in each one, because I need to know what is actually going to be their homework, then I can know what to talk about. So I'm going to model that. Then on this week, they'll be doing rigging for transformation. Sorry, Penny needs a little bit of help really quick. And
can I say hi?
Yeah, Penny wants to say hi.
Hi.
You can't hear them. They can only hear us.
Why?
Because I'm live streaming. They're not live streaming this time. That is Penelope, my daughter, for those of you guys that don't know.
Are you walking on there?
Yeah. And then after we do the rigging, it will go into animation for transformation. And then this one's also going to need, this is project 3. This one's also going to need match moving for video. So move video. Penny, people said hi to you back. Karen says hi. Kat says hi. I don't know if she heard me, but I'll make sure to let her know that you guys said hi, because I think she's already in the other room. Match move video. And we'll do composite, lock in, and final project. And these are all going to be project 3. And then that means that here we're going to be critiquing. And they're going to be working on their portfolio / demo reel. And then on the last week, they're going to be presenting. There's no, I guess. Yeah, I'll definitely tell her later, Kat. She loves it when people interact with her online. It's really cute. Um, Final demo, reel, and portfolio. And then I don't need this or this because there's no lab and there's no lecture. I guess instead of homework, I can call this final. And then so finalize portfolio and demo reel. There we go. Environmental. And this one's kind of a rough week, week 15, the last week of classes, because they will be kind of in the mode of going away for the holidays. It's the last week of classes right before Christmas and all the other holidays that people celebrate, the winter break for classes. Green screen, we do not have green screening for this project, although they could, I guess, but that will be a bonus for them if they want. So I got to jump up to where I started doing all the projects. Yeah, Penny, lately, Karen, she's been telling me all the time that she wants to make videos for her channel, so I need to find time to work with her and make videos. I think the next video that I want to do on her channel is going to be her trying on all her new uniform that she got for her school, so that way she can kind of do like a back to school uniform showcase or something like that. And I was actually surprised with the amount of variety of clothes that she can get with little jumpers and pants and things like that. So on her channel, that's probably the next video that we'll be coming up with. Okay, so doing a transforming animation, and just do simple character rigging or simple rigging because it doesn't necessarily have to be a character. For students that struggle with making characters, they can do something else. It's just like simple, let's say, robotic. And this is going to be continue with project 3, continue with project 3. So this one, we're doing animation. So we'll just say transforming animation. Because I try to incorporate a little bit of animation into this program, but there's actually another program at our school that completely focuses on animation. I just want them to kind of get the idea of what animation is. So it's not a full-on like short animation film. It's just enough to be able to understand the concepts that we're teaching in this class. Match moving. So we'll talk about match 3D match moving. King, a green screen, hope. So we got more compositing stuff. So a lot of the compositing is just the same thing over and over again. So I'm trying to find ways to make it more interesting and things to focus on. Maybe we can talk about, let's talk about render layers here. So that way they can focus on creating different, along with the render passes, they can create individual render layers so that way they can composite them a little bit easier. That would be a good practice. And then we have 5 minutes before Pusa Studios, and I think I'll probably end up finishing right on time, and we can do a handoff, and we can do, hey, with love from CGI Nerd or something like that. Let's see how many people are still left here in the stream. 6. Wow. I am so excited. So many people are watching this right now. Because I thought that not too many people would find this interesting, creating a syllabus for a class, structuring it. Thought maybe the people that were in my class would show up, but I haven't seen any of them in the comments yet. So we have the final project. So we did the composite block-in. Oh yeah, render layers, and then we can do render optimization maybe. And then critique is what I want, and the final portfolio and the portfolio and demo reel here. That is exactly what I want. So I am going to save this. Did this make sense to anybody that was watching? I think it, I don't know. I think maybe throughout the course we'll end up changing some things, because I always add in the syllabus. It's like, syllabus is subject to change depending, and I usually try to adapt to whatever the students are looking for in the class. So I do try to do that. Let me switch over to up here. Let's stop this so that you can see my lovely face and we can talk a little bit. So yeah, with the syllabus, I try to make it flexible enough where we can actually change things on the go and update what is going on depending on the interest of the students, because I think that's more important than anything once the classes start, to be able to update things. So Pusa Studios is about to start. I am going to put the link here for you guys. CGI Nerd. There we go. So if you want to end up sharing the hashtag and say hello to Pusa Studios, tell them that you came from my channel, I would love that. Because they're a great live stream, they're a great community building group. So and they're just great people. So I love being able to support them. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed me updating my syllabus, and I appreciate all the help you guys gave me. That was very helpful, and we will see you guys in the next video.